It is written in Rig Veda time and again that look, you are not alone. Your entity is not individual entity, rather your entity is with the environment. And environment is what? Where Brahman is, and Brahman is here. You attach yourself with the Brahman.
Now, if you go to America, they're keeping this song in the name of introspection training. They charge $200 per day, and 500 people are sitting to know this. It is told free here.
At the end of the day, whether Western, Indian, every human being is driven by something. Sometimes greed for power, greed for money, greed for knowledge. My view is India is the only country which has given room to all this. Greed for knowledge. So you will want to excel in what you do. Greed for power, yes, greed for money. But India is more oriented to knowledge and doing larger things for society.
Today we have the panel discussion on envisioning Bharata's future. So the moderator, Dr. Sudhagar Gande, is the Managing Director and CEO of Jupiter Capital Private Limited, Bangalore. And the panelists are Professor Said Ainul Hassan, Vice-Chancellor, Maulana Azad National University, Urdu University, Hyderabad. Professor N. Panjanadam. Okay. All right. Vice-Chancellor, Gandhigram Rural Institute, Tamil Nadu. And Professor Sudhagar Reddy, Director, ICSSR, Southern Regional Center, Hyderabad. It's a great pleasure to have all these experts with us today for having this discussion on this very important topic, that is Bharata at 2047, envisioning Bharata's future. It's a very, very important topic, because what some of the things which I find in higher education, and particularly all the people who are sitting here, are mainly with respect to the higher education, research, and industrial development. These are the two facets which we all discussed during this seminar. So one of the things which I thought, which we are missing, say for example, or we have to rediscover from our own past, is the pursuit of excellence. Something which India had remarkably done very well in its ancient past, that we had actually people who pursued excellence in every area that you can think of. We had people who pursued excellence in medicine, for example, in Ayurveda. We had people who built great institutions like the Nalanda universities. Or we had great architects who contributed tremendously in the form of an architectural wisdom that even today we can't think about. We had great mathematicians, and we had great musicians. We had great dancers we had. So in every sphere that I see, we had the weavers, people who were thinking about how to make a sari out of a single silk thread. We had people who were excellent in almost any discipline. So something which, they had dedicated their whole life for that particular cause. So that is what I call amazingly something so amazingly important with respect to our past, that we had a past where we had people who pursued excellence. Now, sadly, something which I find in the recent days is that we really don't have people who pursue excellence. We have the number of performers have increased, but the pursuit of excellence is not very much considered by the society. We have more of mediocrity, which is actually growing rather than people who are pursuing excellence. This is something which I find in any aspect of or any area of which we are thinking about, something which I thought, something, an opening remark, which I thought this thing. Another thing that which I was thinking is that we don't have actual dissemination of knowledge, dissemination of knowledge systems. Say, for example, we have several national institutes are there, several universities are there. We are doing research in our institutions. We really do not have a system for knowledge dissemination. We still depend only on the publications that are coming out from the foreign institutions, foreign publishers. We don't have systems where we can publish our research or other activities which are going in peer-reviewed decent journals. We have several journals, mostly what we call the predatory journals, but we have not been able to really develop some systems, some publications, knowledge publishing platforms, which can be reliably, taken into our own consideration, which we don't have actually. We should remember that we were a country where we had these diamond cutter skills. If you really look at that, we used to have these small diamonds with 54 facets and with the angles matching with the complete total internal reflection. And we had tremendous skills which we had developed. That's what I always feel when you talk about Indianness. I always felt that if we really think about our ancient glorious days, I found that we had people like, some of the greatest people, some of the greatest architects, and some of the greatest singers. For example, Tyagaraja Swamigal, or somebody who actually dedicated their whole life to a particular cause. We don't find that. It's rare now. So we need to actually create a system at an institutional levels. In fact, I'm not saying that we should institutionalize it, because both these things are different. Our academic institutions need to have ambience. Our industrial organizations need to have environments where these systems can come to those levels, because we are still in a stage where we have the rule book is more important than the pursuit of excellence. So this is something which I think very important with respect to any area that I think of. And with this simple few opening remarks, let me hand over the mic to Dr. Sudhagar Gande, the Managing Director and CEO, Jupiter Capital Private Limited, Bangalore, for moderating this.
Thanks, Raveendran Garu, for your opening remarks. Thank you very much. And unlike most of the professors here, my background is on business side. I was a managing director of Global Trust Bank. Before that, I was managing director of American Express Bank. Then I set up a technology company where we do very, very high-end technologies for aerospace and all. We build a company which is in 10 years, we build a company from $1 million revenue to $100 million revenue, from 60 jobs to 3,000 jobs, from one country to 12 countries. So one request to all audience, anybody wants any help in financing or technology, be in touch with me. If possible, I can add something somewhere. But having said now, we are talking about today's topic was Bharata 2047, envisioning Bharata's future. So basically we are talking about Viksit Bharat, a developed country, by 2047 when we finish 100 years of our independence, from the time we got independence. Only 3-4 data points I want to give to all of you. See, today India, I'll take a little bit time on the economy and finance and country. Today India is the 5th largest economy in the world. We are 5th, we only have one country ahead of us because we already taken over Germany last year, is Japan. Once we cross Japan, we become 3rd largest. When you say 3rd largest, how you define the size of the economy? We are expected to cross $5 trillion. So we will be 3rd largest economy in the world. And over and above us, there are only 2 countries. One is China. Beyond China is US. China, as you know, Chinese economy size is about 18, 19 trillion dollars. That means 4 times our size. And US is about 39, 40 trillion dollars, which is double of China. So from 5, we can plan to overtake China some point of time. And that is the reason 2047 Viksit Bharat is very, very important, because as per IMF projections, if we grow at the rate of 8, 9%, by 2050, we will overtake China. So that is the reason government has put a lot of energy, lot of strategy, lot of thinking in this. Why 2047? Why developed country? Why Viksit Bharat? 2, 3 data points I want to give you. In last 10 years, country has progressed substantially on a lot of parameters. Just to give 1 or 2 parameters for benefit of the audience. Digital infrastructure. Okay. Digital infrastructure means whether you're sale, buying, stocks, everything goes on digital. And I'm very proud to say India as a country has taken less than 5 years, put our all stock market, entire stock market, in 90%, 95% on digital form, DMAT. And America has taken more than 15 years to reach the same figure of 95. And second important point is, Indians by nature, I think they're very smart on using technology. They may know, I live in Bombay, sometimes cafeteria in my house. The earlier I used to have a guy who brings best mangoes in the season to come and say that, sir, Kolhapuri mangoes will come, please buy. And he will show and all. Now he doesn't, he just send a message SMS, message on WhatsApp. Sir, mangoes arrived, this much 1 dozen, this much 2 dozen. You say okay, you do Paytm, the mangoes arrives. So technology has enabled people to move much, much faster. I don't know, some of you must be aware, there is a city called Rampur in UP. Rampur is, what is famous for? Toys, worldwide. Okay. Now, the capacity of Rampur in last 10 years gone 5 times. Because somebody sitting in Toronto want a toy for his child. Now we can order through online, through WhatsApp, and get it delivered. The whole system now in place. So net, what I want to say is, one of the outstanding achievements of Modi ji's government, BJP, last 10 years is digital infrastructure, is the envy of the world. The number of transactions we do, number of bank accounts will be opened, amount of volumes of business done is absolutely amazing. That is the reason all technology companies, which is India also as a country very smart, we made everybody a part of it. Whether it's Google, WhatsApp, Microsoft, top 5, 6 tech companies, all of them are part of our infrastructure now. Last month I was in Athens, speaking on a panel on digital infrastructure. Greece as a country is extremely good for governance. That means technology governance for government. Greece is number 1 country in Europe. In fact, I'm going to inform in Delhi, they must look at it. So we have to get some pieces like this, governance infrastructure from Greece. Okay, digital infrastructure we have built. So one step in the building the 5 trillion economy and also becoming 2047 is a technology. Whether you like it or you don't like it, you hate it, doesn't matter. It's a part of your life. And second important thing, within technology now, if you look at trends, 2, 3 areas became very, very important. For example, artificial intelligence. It was there 20 years back when I was graduating in IIT Delhi. We had a paper on artificial intelligence. But that time nobody's bothered, because just to tell in 2 words, artificial intelligence is very effective when you have a lot of data to process. And you have machines which process the data. For example, Mr. X, I want data about you. If I just note everything, when do you get up, what time you go out, how many times in a year you go on a holiday, what is your favorite food, all that if I get data, if you go to Goa, immediately I send a message to all the Chinese restaurants around that area, Mr. X has arrived. And those fellows will catch hold of you and send the food. And they make money. So AI has standardized a lot of things, along with machine learning. That means they're repetitive actions. Okay? I mean, don't be surprised. 10 years from now, I can tell you that there may be 90% of a factory may be in machines. Completely automated. They're like human beings, they come and do it. So things are changing. But anyway, the good part for India is last 20 years our software industry has gone up very well. And just for information of some of you, 30 years back, our software exports was $1-2 billion. Now we have crossed $120 billion. Today, the only way you are able to withstand the stock of oil is because we got money from here. If we didn't have money, we would have been a serious issue. So India as a country, fairly well equipped to reach these things, but the only important thing, as rightly said, that determination to excellence has to be there. For example, our education institutions, they should be more beefed up, get best of the faculty within India, outside India. Because why should we look at some university to come and tell us? But I can tell you with pride, in the company which I built, Access Cadence Technologies, we bet the global companies in 10 years to win a contract with Airbus on par with Accenture, everybody. So Indian brains are ultimate. I got one employee from Hubli. That person passed out from a very average college, not even IIT, NIT, kuch nahi. But that guy is such a brain. When he works in Airbus, they say, boss, tum kuch bhi karo, isko mat leke jao. If we want him, otherwise we'll take on our roles. The day you decide to move him out, he is my employee. Such a brain. So Indian brains are great. But the only thing what happens in India is 90% of the people need leadership. It's a country needs strong leadership. Even organizations, companies, individuals, I've seen the ability to take a risk is very limited in Indians at average level. That is something has to enhance. For example, the other day I was speaking at Karimnagar Engineering College and Management College together, why people should create jobs rather than looking for jobs. So we had a lot of interesting sessions. A lot of youngsters are open. Today, for example, India, the country, we have number 3 in unicorns in the world after US and China. We are number 3. But the issue now is we have to slowly move from this, as he rightly said, somehow mechanism to have excellence. But if you look at our old Vedic times, which I've been hearing in the morning, and I did a little bit of work on that. One of the things is this, sir, I want to tell for your personal consumption. Yes, because if you look at gurus, seers, and all that, they excel by doing complete practice repeatedly, everything under the sun. So nobody can touch you. That means he's the best. Only similar is the US education system, where my brother is a professor. Okay, once he became a professor, what they call tenure. Tenure means permanent professor. Nobody can touch you. Even at 85, no retirement. Only if you're senile, then you will retire, because all of them got together because of Nikolov. Only that condition. Same thing for American judiciary, Supreme Court judge. Nobody can remove the guy. What do? That guy will come on this thing, but he will not. But he will have that independence. So maybe some of the institutions in India, you have to put that mechanism. Why should somebody retire at 60, 65? Let him work. If I have a knowledge of 25 years of excellence in one particular area, for example, I've hired one person from Hindustan Aeronautic for consultant in one very specialized aerospace. When I took him to Airbus, he retired. I said, sir, you just come and teach at least youngsters. So out of personal interest, he came. He used to tell us. When that problem came, I took him to Airbus. And the top guys in Airbus were looking at him, listening to him only. Because a doctorate from Institute of Science, and he's mastered that. So we should have some mechanism to excel people who are masters in that area. And a lot of Indians are interested, and it is at least in academic institutions, it is wrong to retire a person at 60. You should put a rule up to 75, unless something like that, because the best will come. If I'm teaching digital signal processing, for example, in IIT Delhi, we had one professor called Dattarai, I still remember, brilliant guy. DSP is one of the most difficult subjects for us. He used to teach us, we used to really enjoy the teaching. If that person retires at 60, the knowledge is gone. You give him at least another 10, 15 years of time. Okay, coming back on the economic front, I personally feel country is reasonably well equipped. Of course, we have some adjustments we have to do, and but overall, we are in the right direction. Along with a good political leadership, a lot of things are happening, but that has to percolate down little more, one more level below. So overall, on the economic front is fine. So now I would like request Professor Saidul Hassan Garu, Vice-Chancellor, Maulana Azad National Urdu University, Hyderabad. You can cover whatever areas you want, sir.
In the name of the one who gave us life and wisdom, dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, girls and boys, this opportunity I never wish to miss out at any given time. And I'm thankful to our beloved friend Lakshmanji. In spite of my busy schedule at home, I could not say no to him because his eloquent voice compelled me to say yes. And therefore, I am here. But I am still trying to discover myself as to what should I speak here. Because it's an ocean. You pick up one drop, disseminate your knowledge across the board. That's not sufficient. India, are we really understand what India is, what Bharat is? We have to first discover ourselves. You know, I carry several identities. I belong to Varanasi. People may call me Banarsi. I spent 42 years in Delhi. One can say that he is from Delhi. I taught 37 years in JNU. One can say that he is a Genuite. Now, last 3 years, I am serving in Hyderabad. I am Vice-Chancellor of Maulana Azad National University. One can say that, okay, he is Vice-Chancellor, he belongs to Hyderabad. But I am still wandering in search of my identity. And the only identity is that I am Indian. I am a proud Indian. And let me tell you, in 2007, when I became a Fulbright professor at Rutgers State University of New Jersey, the simple introduction given to me was that here is a professor from India. This identity is very important to me. I am taking cue from the first speaker, my friend again, Lakshmanji, who talks about Guru Shish Parampara. Is there Guru Shish Parampara? What's their parampara? I'm a teacher. I don't want to become someone in a different world, but I want to die as a teacher. But on the other hand, I must see what my students are doing, whether they are following the right path. You know, Indian knowledge system, there is a proverbial expression, and that however much you acquire knowledge, if you don't put it into practice, you shall remain ignorant. Are we ignorant? If we are not practicing this knowledge, and I say this knowledge, then we will remain ignorant. We will not make use of this knowledge. To what extent we have been using this knowledge? I have very little access to Sanskrit language. I know Hindi literature, and other Indian literature. Very little access. But I have studied Upanishad also, Vedas also, Mahabharata I read, and then Gita I studied. I studied Kalidasas, all books almost, in Persian, because I was a student of Persian. And then I started making use of this knowledge. Then I interacted with Princeton University. I visited Einstein's laboratory. And when I wanted to collaborate with them, they asked me, to what extent you know India? I said, I have to discover. And next morning, I prepared a project brought to the scientists of Princeton University, and they say, okay, now you do your research on environmental sciences. And then we wrote papers on obligation of man. And when I say, on one hand, flora and fauna, on the other hand, obligation of man. Let us discover ourselves. Obligation of man is what? There are two categories of people. One, I'm sorry to say, I have no idea about corporate sector. Yes, India is progressing, that India must progress. But this progress, you are talking about artificial intelligence. I mean, do we have capability to disseminate this knowledge across the globe? That look, Indian knowledge system is so strong. I can cite example. An example you can bring when you do comparative study. When you don't do comparative study, nothing will come out. How to do comparative study? Just give me little time. I will explain to you a few examples. Now, most ancient country or with power, with might, and then the king of universe, it was Greece, once upon a time. Ancient civilization. Now what they did? They said there are two categories of people, weaker and stronger. Stronger is maker of law. Weaker is an abiding force. They must abide by the law of the land. Now what happens? There is a war between Ecumenians. Since Xerxes, you must have seen, some of you, 300 film of Hollywood, in fact. And then Xerxes on one hand, Spartans on the other hand. They got defeated. First time they got defeated in the history. And therefore, they wanted to execute their officers, army officers. That look, first time you brought shame to us, and therefore punishment is must. All of them were put behind the bar. Socrates raises question, this is against the ethical norms. You cannot, they fought for you, and you are here to punish them. He was also put to silence slowly and gradually. He was poisoned, and over a period of 30 days he died. His bones started cracking. Now this was a reward given by those saying that we are the maker of law, we are the originator of philosophies. And then what happens? Look at here, you see. In India, you say ethical norms. I'm citing two examples here. One example where a battle is taking place, Kauravas and Pandavas. Arjun, the best archer. Dronachar, Guru. But Guru, being a state Guru, was performing his own karma. And then Arjun, Lord Krishna, saying, Arjun, there are two people against each other. There you find your enemy. No, he's my guru, he's my teacher. No, you have to perform karma. You must perform. And then in the battlefield, either you kill your enemy, your opponent, or opponent will kill you. Then morality comes to an end. Ethical notes come forward. This example they must have taken, but instead they are propagating and they are saying that Socrates was against the democracy, therefore he was punished. This is European mind. They are not taking Indian mind. But yes, when the chance comes, they study Vedas, particularly Rig Vedas, and drive lessons out of our treatises. I can quote Dante, the Italian poet who wrote Divine Comedy, he has taken cue from Agni Pariksha. That Agni Pariksha, he creates Inferno. There is truth testing ceremony, but you cannot twist it. So it originated from India. I can cite n number of examples of Indian diaspora. Their world has copied. Beneath Einstein's statue, Dhamma is written. You can see, and that reminds Battle of Kalinga. When Ashoka repents, you know, they say Hinsa. Go to West Asia, you will find what's happening there. We created Ahimsa. We created Aste. We created Aparigraha. Repentance, you see, anybody can commit sin, anybody can commit mistakes, but there is repentance also. So when you repent, you represent India. Repentance is must. You must say that I will shun it immediately, I will not repeat it. Then to end up, let me remind you that you follow those categories. There is one category of people meant for worldly gains, world power. Other category is there, spiritual march from inferior degree to the superior degree. Follow this path also. There you will find three junctions. One junction is where you have brahmacharya. Second junction where you have grihast. Third junction where you have vanparas. You are not examining the case on the basis of hypothesis. You are examining the case on the basis of experimentations. When Bharata says that, look, this Ayodhya, I will not rule, rather you stay back. No, there is a commitment. Okay, what is that commitment? Vanparas. There was no road, there was no city, such as such. There was no comfort. And march ahead. What was that march? March was to tell the world that, look, here is anxiety. Nobody is becoming friendly with me. Nobody goes deep down to my sorrows. This is the lesson. If you want, discover yourself. If you have discovered yourself, then you can discover your providence also. If you have not discovered yourself, then you cannot say that I belong to India. You discover yourself and attach it with the environment, because Vedas, all these entities are there. Agni is there, Vayu is there, Jal is there, Prithvi is there, Akash is there. There is a ring of Akash also. But have you discovered this environment, the entire Brahmand? Have you discovered? This Brahmand is attached to you. And it is written in Rig Veda time and again that, look, you are not alone. Your entity is not individual entity. Rather, your entity is with the environment. And environment is what? Where Brahmand is, and Brahmand is here. You attach yourself with the Brahmand, then there will be no question of cutting trees, no question of destroying water, no question of polluting environment. This is how you can identify yourself, and this is how you can go to the highest level of global approach, where people will see and will say that, okay, here is a country not perishable. If you don't have strength within you, anyone can perish you. But if you gather your strength, none would qualify to perish you. This is my lesson. Discover yourself, discover India, and go ahead. Thank you very much.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, special respect to moderator. He requested Honorable Vice-Chancellor to speak. He requested me to say a few words. So he understands time management. So, most respected Lakshman ji, the hero of the day, other respected delegates present here. So, as he rightly said, I will not take much of your time. That's it. I have my time. Already 1 minute is over. So, Bharatiya philosophies and foundations, how they are traveling and towards our Viksit Bharat, how they are helpful, even thousands of years old, but still it has got its impact. Only if we achieve both sides. One side is economy, GDP. Thousands of years ago, morning they told we had 30% GDP, but still we have come down. Again, we are going up. Equally, Indian philosophy, they say that the essence, they say that Dharma, Karma, samsara, dukkha, again and again, renunciation, meditation, all these things, most of the times comfortably we forget. That is the reason our products, the real education, people say that real education is not coming up. That is the reason, even recently I could see in internet, you can also check, and a police officer says, when he joined as a young police officer 25 years ago, he used to catch 10 criminals. He did this one, he did this one, he did this one. 10 criminals per day. All the 10 are illiterates, are school dropouts. And he says now, particularly when I am seeing the TV, he says that today also I am catching 10 criminals. All the 10 are graduates. All the 10 are postgraduates. And we cannot say no to that. And the Honorable Government of India has told that be careful with digital transaction. Last year, 2,000 crores have been looted from well-educated people. I also lost 501 rupee. I'll tell you, next time I'll tell you. So all these things, this looting was done by well-educated only. Otherwise, they need better knowledge to loot others' money. So, not only the knowledge, the Indian philosophy says that how the travel should be. Vasudeva Kudumbakam. We should take care of all people. Thanks to Corona. Nobody will thank Corona, but I thank Corona. I could see in one Shiva temple, my friend, I have one wife, one boy, son. And he has got one wife, one girl child. And I did 3 archana, one for me, one for my wife, one for my son, in the Shiva temple during Corona period. Alternate days they opened. He did 10 archanas. I called him, come. Why are you doing, you know, home only 3 people? Why are you doing 10 archanas? Then he says, see, there is one lady is coming, no vendor. He is coming giving vegetables to your house also, my house also. She is Bharani Chitram, Mesha Rashi. For her also I am doing. Then another person, the person who is doing ironing, is coming to your house also, my house also. For him also I am doing. Another person, the old lady comes to my home to wash the vessels. Then why are you doing for them? If they don't get Corona, we won't get Corona. See, that's what our Indian philosophy, Bharatiya philosophy says that Vasudeva Kudumbakam, all humanity should be good. Whole humanity should be well. For which, you see, now morning we could see, Professor is a great scholar, is doing namaskar and getting blessings from his teacher. Both are here. Same time, that is the thing our Bharatiya philosophy says. Same time I was browsing for something else. You won't believe, it is true. It is coming here in Tamil Nadu. One teacher in Tanjavur, one teacher was killed by student. See what is happening here. Oh, what has happened there, you see that. True, I am telling you. You can now also browse and see. So Tamil people from Tamil Nadu, they know. Tanjavur, like this. That is the reason I am also, soon I will complete. Because because the moderator actually say a few words is good. I can also escape. So why I am telling here, these type of values, philosophies, behavior, that matters. That matters equally to our knowledge. Otherwise, just to be speaking, English is required, I am speaking, everybody speaks to understand something. But English is not everything. English is not everything. People say that English is everything. Even such people in IT industry, you go, the way they speak, the pronunciation, everything very fast. Sometimes teachers are fainted because this type of English we don't talk. When the question of writing comes, one boy is writing, leave letter. Sir, tomorrow I am going to my village to sell my land along with my wife. It's a goodbye actually, it's a goodbye. It's a goodbye. Even if I get 100 rupees, I hide 50 rupees to my wife. But he is not like that. In front of his wife, he is selling, handing over the money to wife. But the way he writes, tomorrow I am going to my village to sell my land along with my wife. As if land is purchased, wife is free, the way he writes. So English is not everything. We need English. I'm talking in English. My English teacher, if he listens, he will give 0 mark to me. That is different matter. Another fellow wrote, sir, my mother-in-law died. I am only one responsible for that. Please give me 1 day leave. Actually, he is also a good person. He is also a good person, actually. Your mother-in-law is like my mother. I want to do cremation, everything. But the way he writes, police officer will, without FIR, directly will arrest. Superintendent of police. Another fellow wrote, sir, just married fellow, sir, my wife is sick. I am only one husband at home. Please give me 1 day leave. Actually, he is also a good person. Madam, you are taking notes. Actually, I think the whole it's a galaxy of people is the only person taking notes. Thank you, madam. Because all others have come to know that I am not taking topic, but still you are taking it as a topic. Very happy. So, in this way, the conceptualization, Tamil there is a song, Paravayai Pata and the Vanam Padaitan. See that in Veda and all, though I am not able to talk in Sanskrit, they used to say that the Parakum Tatte, I don't know the English problem for me, in those days it was there. Flying? It was there in those days. And that all, you see, that made people to think today airplane. So that is today's topic is that how Indian philosophy's conceptualization, what wisdom they had, our ancestors, that made India to become, Bharat to become like this, and Bharat to become 100% developed country in 2047. That basic concepts were there, that should be taken. In unity in diversity also, years together people say. And meditation, thanks to Honorable Government of India like yoga, meditation today has been made one of the important day for UN has declared, like yoga. So 3,000 years ago, Tirumular has told, Tannai Ariya, Tanakkur Kedillai, Tannai Ariyamal Tane Kedugundran, Tannai Ariyum Marivai Arindavin, Tannai Dan Archikindrane. That's what meditation. And they say that you should know yourself. The previous speakers also, Professor VC spoke, to introspect. Discover 3,000 years ago. What else you want? Now, if you go to America, they keeping this song in the name of introspection training, they charge $200 per day. And 500 people are sitting to know this. It is told free here. It is free here, but in America, our people are sitting and listening how to do introspection, how to know ourselves. So, friends, much can be spoken on that. And still, the practical necessity of Indian philosophy believes, and that is the reason, repeatedly, the importance of humanity. Spectacles he has taken, that means my time is over. Indian philosophy says that all those wisdoms are to be recollected, only then the true Viksit Bharat can be achieved. There is a reason Honorable Prime Minister of India, Honorable Government of India says that not only the technology, but also happy people. Do you know one thing? Now just to see your internet, there are 2 clocks are running. One clock is birth clock. Another one clock is death clock. You see here once again. one person is dying. 1 second. Not because I am talking. People are not dying because I am talking, but 1 second, one person is dying in the world. You can very well immediately check. One of the major reasons, more than 97% is for want of food. For want of food. So that is what in Viksit Bharat, not only technology-wise we should go up, the real wisdom, the real truth, the food for everybody, clothes for everybody, shelter for everybody. All those things are to be planned. That's what Honorable Prime Minister of India does, Honorable Government of India does. That is the reason we are moving forward. And I am tempted to speak more. And at the same time, if I continue to speak in America, one fellow started morning 9 o'clock. Talking. 11 o'clock, our friends, students asked, Sir, no, sit. Talking. 1 o'clock they told, Sir, no. Then 3 o'clock, they said, Sir, even this is not permitted. Sit. 5 o'clock, he did like this. As you laughed, everybody laughed. He completed it. That time he told, hereafter we will come to the subject. That time, they are all good boys and girls here. In America, one boy came with a revolver. He kept here. Morning 9 o'clock he started. We requested. You say, listen. Okay, throughout the night we will close the doors. Throughout the night we will sit. You come to the subject. Then why are you keeping this one? This one, inside there is only one bullet. That is not for you. Come to the subject. Then why? No, this bullet is the person who invited you, no? Like Lakshmanji, come on, Panjanadam, no? Only for him, one bullet is there. You come to the subject. Similarly, friends, you believe, you don't believe, there are 159 points I have noted down. 3 days I have prepared. I have not come to the subject. But because of me, we all pray for Lakshmanji should live more than 100 years. So because of me, something happened to Lakshmanji in Thiruvananthapuram. That should not come. That is the reason. Truly I am telling, I have not come to the subject, but still I say that behavior matters. Equally, behavior matters. We need well-behaving people, 1.41 crore people of this Bharat, well-behaving people we need. That naturally will take us towards Viksit Bharat 47. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Panchanadam Garu. I must say, very good speech covering all the points. Thank you so much. Yeah, the real Panchnath. Yeah, right one. Thank you very much. Now I request Professor Sudhakar Reddy Garu, Director ICSSR, Southern Region, Hyderabad, I won't say a few words. Please, speak as long as you want.
Yeah, respected dignitaries on the dais, of the dais, today's Chairman, Professor Raveendran, Vice-Chancellor, University of Calicut, Moderator, Dr. Sudhakar Gande, Managing Director and CEO, Jupiter Capital Private Limited, Bangalore, Panelist, Professor Syed Ainul Hassan, Vice-Chancellor, Manu, Hyderabad, Professor Panchanatham, Vice-Chancellor, Gandhigram Rural Institute, Tamil Nadu, and all the delegates who have come all the way to witness this wonderful event. In front of me is there Professor Raveendran sir. He's come all the way from Kashmir to that end to this end. And today's, you can say, hero of this event, Dr. Gunta Lakshmanji, and Dr. Lakshmiji also. Both are Lakshmanji and Lakshmiji also responsible for organizing a wonderful event. After all, panelists spoke on different aspects of Bharat Envision Future. Really, it's a very wonderful event for bringing together galaxy of academicians, even administrators and managing directors to bridge the gap between traditional wisdom and modern technology. Really, it's first of its kind organizing such a scale of participants and eminent academics coming together, really bringing together from different 16 or 17 states, that itself bridging a gap between traditional wisdom and modern technology. When they interact each other, they learn a lot of things. After this conference, now people will write a lot of papers on this Indian traditional knowledge and modern technology, how to bridge it. Our panelists also spoke about India is fifth largest economy, and very shortly it's going to emerge as third largest economy in terms of size of the economy, in terms of GDP. When we look at per capita income, that is not doing well. And the size, okay, it's fifth largest economy. If you take in terms of per capita income, we are not doing fairly well in terms of per capita income. What is missing in it? The missing is the distribution of income among the stakeholders is missing. Rich has become very rich, poor has become poor. In terms of per capita income, if you take, it's almost 120th country in terms of out of 170 countries. So we need to do lot in terms of distribution of income, in terms of per capita income, how to increase the per capita income. Size is concerned, it's fifth largest, because when our Honorable Prime Minister announced Viksit Bharat, now it has become a buzzword with every conversation, Viksit Bharat. Definitely, by 2047, it's a centenary year of independence. We will achieve that, Viksit Bharat. India becomes a developed economy because we have got three favorable conditions. One is we have got democratic favorable conditions. Young India. Compared to any other countries, India is young India, talented persons are there. Second, geopolitics is in favor of India because of Modi's perspective. Our geopolitics turned. We are friendly nation to most of the countries, and also climate change also is in favor of India also. So therefore, if we do it with the dedication and devotion and determination, definitely India becomes a developed one, a Viksit Bharat by 2047. Now this, in the morning session also, all the speakers, panelists speak how this National Education Policy 2020 helps make India Viksit Bharat by 2047. This NEP is a transformation, and Indian educational landscape has undergone a remarkable transmission with implementation of national education policy. And there is a shift in the nation's approach to lean to the teaching. This comprehensive policy framework represents thoughtful integration of India's rich educational heritage with contemporary pedagogical needs. This policy acknowledges the significance of traditional knowledge system while addressing the demands of the modern global economy. The National Education Policy 2020 has introduced fundamental changes in the structure and delivery of education, emphasizing holistic development, critical thinking, and experimental learning. So when they restructured the National Education Policy framework, NEP, innovative restructuring that 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 structure serves as a bridge between traditional Indian education values and modern pedagogical requirements. The structure divides the educational journey into the distinct stages. That's a fundamental stage, that is 3 to 8, preparatory stage, 8 to 11, middle age, 11 to 14, and secondary 14 to 18. Each stage incorporates elements of traditional Indian knowledge system while maintaining the alignment of contemporary educational standards. The framework, which emphasizes the importance of mother tongue instruction in early years while gradually transitioning to the multilingual education, this approach ensures the students remain connected their cultural roots while developing the skill necessary for global competitiveness. Implementation strategy of national education policy vision presents both opportunities and challenges in harmonizing traditional modern approaches. Education institutions across India have been adopting their infrastructure and teaching methodologies to accommodate the policy requirements. That's the teacher training programs have been redesigned to equip educators with the skill needed to deliver integrated curriculum effectively. Digital technology integration has emerged as a crucial component through digital divide remains significant change in some regions. This digitalization has been helping a very big way. Still, 43% of population they are far from digital technology. They are not using any digital technologies. Yet, this digitalization has become equalizer because you have got inequalities, incomes, class, caste, so many things. But yet, is the one digital technologies which are normalizing, which equalizing among the population. So, what is the global recognition in recent years about Bharat's ancient education principles have emerged significant international attention, particularly their holistic approach to learn and character development. That's a Gurukula system, emphasis on comprehensive development, combining with academic excellence with moral values and practical skills, has found resonance in modern educational frameworks worldwide. Education institutions across the globe have begun incorporating elements of Indian pedagogical methods, recognizing their potential to address contemporary challenges in education. So, what future prospects lies? Bharat's education legacy with modern pedagogical approaches presents promising opportunities for the future of the global education. The traditional emphasis on holistic development aligns perfectly with the growing recognition of their importance of social emotional learning and the character education in contemporary educational systems. The National Education Policy of India already began incorporating these traditional elements while adopting them to meet modern needs. Looking ahead, we need a synthesis of ancient wisdom with technological advancements, offers innovative solutions for personalized learning experiences, value-based education system, characteristics of traditional Indian education, provides a framework for addressing current challenges in character development and ethical decision making. This integration could potentially revolutionize educational approaches, creating a more balanced and comprehensive learning environment. So, what I would say as ICSSR, when we have given a call for a special call for projects, Indian knowledge system. We have given a call for Indian knowledge system, major research projects and minor research projects. We have received around 6,500 projects on Indian knowledge system. While evaluating, really we thrilled to learn a lot of deep-rooted, rich heritage and culture, its values. So out of 6,500, almost 550 projects have been sanctioned. They are now undertaking research. Once that projects are completed, we get lot of insights how to integrate, how to blend this traditional knowledge with modern technologies. So all the academicians who are in the present year, kindly just log into ICSR websites. In one academic year, we have given 16 calls or major mine research project. That special calls. In addition to that, a general call is given. So we have been receiving projects in quite a good number, but yet they lack conceptual clarity. Methodological issues are there. So therefore, try to comprehend, understand issues and try to write qualitative projects, because ICSR promotes a qualitative research in social sciences. If your project is imparting a qualitative research, definitely you will get a projects. By getting a project, you would get benefit, your institution will benefit, you will be known outside world. Otherwise, you would be confined to your institution only. So therefore, please apply and get benefited out of it. With these few observations, I thank you one and all giving me this opportunity. I thank you all.
Thanks, Professor Sudhakar Reddy Garu. I think you covered all the points. So you made up for Panchanatham sir's missing points. Anyway, it was a great experience listening to all of you. And if anybody has any one or two questions, we'll take before chairman of the meeting will give the concluding remarks. Anybody have any questions? So that's fine. No questions. Either they fully understood or they're not understood. Okay, yeah, one question, please.
So actually reflect on the methodological issues, because the Indian knowledge system that the calls are there, but then we are trained in the kind of system that is necessarily European and Western, right? Yes. And the research methodology that are taught in the universities are necessarily Western and this thing. Yeah. So when we are getting into the Indian knowledge system research, those methodological kind of innovations and methodological practices do not actually apply. I was listening to Professor Rani sir, I would request you, because on the pramana, prataksha and all those things that you mentioned today, we can have such kind. I'll also invite you to my institute where you can actually teach those methodological innovations to my students. So that is, and through that we can actually pursue our research on the Indian knowledge system. It's not a question, just an observation.
No, you can customize the methodology. There's a Western methodology is there. You can customize it. You can approach mixed method approach. You're not confined to only one method. If you apply mixed method approach, definitely it will serve the purpose. You take the methodology, you can customize based on your requirement. Don't apply as it is that methodology models. When you apply as it is, definitely this Indian knowledge system requires different kinds of methodologies. So we need to design a methodology. That's what we are giving projects. You have to overcome with these limitations, come with your own methodologies. Instead of just looking at softwares, people simply writing EViews or SPSS or R, what is the methodology means. So that it's only software, it's not the methodology. That's why I wanted to just mention, because when they spend a lot of time in preparation of projects, at the end if they write only, we use appropriate techniques with EViews, where they are losing the project. Thank you.
Thanks, Professor Sudhakar Reddy Garu. Any more questions?
Indian philosophy is based on the fact that I am Dr. Suresh Kumar. I am basically a veterinary doctor, but now studying Sanskrit also. Okay. So in Indian philosophy, we used to say that acquiring knowledge is for getting more knowledge for mind behavior like that. But in Western philosophy, it is said that acquiring knowledge is for getting power. Here it is for our moksha, like that. Yes, what is the real differentiation between these things?
See, at the end of the day, whether Western, Indian, every human being is driven by something. Sometimes greed for power, greed for money, greed for knowledge. My view is India is the only country which has given room to all this. Greed for knowledge. So you will want to excel in what you do. Greed for power, yes, greed for money. But India is more oriented to knowledge and doing larger things for society compared to Americans. Just to give an example, because I used to work in American Express Bank, New York. But in India, if husband does well, the wife gets a lot of importance. Any shadi she goes, everybody salam and all. In US, if husband does well, wife will be very worried because he may leave her any time and get another woman as his wife. That is India. So we have a great tradition, great rules, and great traditions, which are very, very important. So I think very difficult to disturb Indian system for a long time to come. Last question, if anybody has, before I request. Yeah, give the mic.
I am Dr. Prabhakaran, Assistant Professor, University. I have a question related to our Honorable Vice-Chancellor of Gandhigram Rural Institute. So talked about the behavioral issues right now. So as far as my knowledge is concerned, because today we are live in the digital and urbanized world. So a lot of crimes are raised due to urbanization and other social process. But my question is, how can our social institution reconstruct for behavior modification at the present context?
Very simple answer is when I was a child, those days onwards, all our sociology subject teachers, we had one Tamil called Needi Bodhanai, moral stories, ethics, values. All these classes were borrowed by mathematics, chemistry, and physics teachers, and they created engineers and doctors. So, if all these subjects are integrated, naturally good engineer plus good behavior, good doctor plus good behavior, both will be there. So, all your subject particularly should be from school onwards should be again reintroduced, particularly when young age in the school. Our behavior modification that will help us in long term.
Okay, thanks. With this, we'll conclude. But before concluding, I request Chairman Raveendran Garu to say a few words.
It was indeed a great time sharing the stage with these great speakers, Dr. Sudhagar Gande, Managing Director and CEO of Jupiter Capital, and then the fellow panelists, Professor Syed Ainul Hassan, Professor Dr. Panchanadam, I think now, Pajnadam, Professor B. Sudhagar Reddy. It was great. So I was just thinking, how should I conclude this? Just two things came into my mind. I'll just take a couple of minutes. One was to do with the 1983 World Cup. Like when we were students, I was doing my +2 at that time. And cricket was a great passion. I think for most of the students, most of these people who were students at that time, you will recollect how those days were. And in the night, in the early morning, this match was going on, or night match was going on, you have the situation where it is Yashpal Sharma also out, 14 for 5 wickets. And you close all the radio, everything, and turn off and go. And after some time, after 2 hours, you just want to just switch on and say, you see 6, and Kapil Dev hitting that against Zimbabwe, that 175 runs. And it changed the Indian mood completely. And we won the World Cup. We know what kind of a victory it was. Even the players who went, like Srikanth and all later said, we just went there for a picnic. Now it was Kapil who actually brought that change. And I had some chances of chance to discuss these things with some of the business leaders at some point. So they were actually discussing the 1983 World Cup was not a World Cup victory alone for India. That actually pushed the whole society in different areas, particularly many youngsters who just started off their careers in software industry and other areas. They found that we too can excel. Just like anybody else in the world, we have a great scope to excel, and we can do our best, and we have a great scope to look at. And this is what I feel now. We probably had bad times. We are doing extremely well now. And this Viksit Bharat 2047 is well we will reach that stage much before 2047, the kind of scales which we are coming. And the other thing was a book which I read long back, that was by Jonas Salk's Man Unfolding a Book. That was, I think it was, I don't remember the publisher now, but a wonderful book on our immunity actually. You know, how we actually, when we evolve, how our immunity evolves, particularly the Health University Vice-Chancellor, Mohan Sir and all will be able to tell us better. But eventually, the strength that we acquire when we are actually evolving, that is the only thing that is actually going to protect us. So definitely our civilizational growth, but not only just financial, all other aspects like our great Vice-Chancellor Professor Syed Ainul Hassan was talking, how the evolution of our society, not just on the monetary grounds, but all other grounds, how is it actually going to take us to a better society? Because that is very important. When you have a pursuit of excellence, which I always used to tell my students, you know, we need to create environments for better performance. We also need to create great souls, great individuals, and greatness is not simply the amount of money which you have, and excellence will not come out of investments alone, because that is actually you have to create an environment and we have to allow the growth. And the other thing, particularly about Indianness, which I always have, one symbol which we have about Indianness is a banyan tree. A banyan tree grows, and at some stage you have some shoots coming down, and shishyas, and they actually, you know, this is what the Guru Shishya Parampara, the best example is a banyan tree, and by the time your first root has gone, the shoots have become actually stronger, and they all come down. At some point of time, you have something vanishing, and equally strong or equally or better and stronger ones are occupying their spaces. It is expanding. We have something really remarkable in our Indianness, and I'm sure that if we have great leadership like this, definitely we are going to make our Viksit Bharat much earlier. I think 2047, I always see it is, I will see it at 2037 at least. Thank you very much. We had a great list of panelists. Thank you very much. Jai Bharat.
Now, sir, we'll close the session. Yeah, thank you. Thank you all for patiently hearing to us. Thank you very much.